the mobile philosopher here once again, and in this video we're going to see a little bit about how to use Google Forms. First thing we're going to do is create one. So we're going to go here to the red button, create, and then select form from the option list here. Click on that. This is going to give us first the option to change the title of the form. So we're going to put this as test 4. And then I can choose a background to the form that the people who are going to fill out the form can see. So in this case, we have a few options here. We'll just choose a simple one for the sake of argument. We'll choose this one right here, which will be the classic one. And then we'll choose OK. Now you're not going to see that until we see the new form, which we'll see just in a few moments. Second thing that we have here is the title. Usually a title corresponds here and here. We have the description. We'll just put a new form here. And then now we get to the main part, which is the elements in regards to the questions. Now these are dynamic, means you can move them around. If we go up here, we're going to see three options, which is edit this. We also have duplicate, and we have delete this guy. So here we can say question number 1, question 1. And then we have a help text here. We add something, fill it out. And then we have the most important part here, which is the type of question I want to use. And here I can click on this guy, and I have text, paragraph, text, multiple choice, checkboxes, choose from a list, scale, grid, date, and time. I'm going to make one of each so we can see what they look like. So we'll just leave this one as text. And this gives us the option of filling out a one-line answer. Down below, we have something that says required question. This is also very important because if you want the person to fill everything out, if you don't click on this, they can actually skip it and send you it without having filled it out. So we're going to normally click on that to make sure that the person fills them out. Once we're done with that, we're going to click on done. And that will be our first question. Now over here, I can duplicate this one if I want to. And that will give me another one. To make things go a little faster, I can put this as question 2 if I want. And then I can go over here and use paragraph text. This is going to give me a much bigger space to be able to add an answer, which would be similar to a paragraph. And I already have this check mark, so I don't have to do it again because it was duplicated. And I press done. Let's add another one. This time, instead of duplicating this one, we'll go down here. We have add item. Or we can add something very specific, which is another type of option here. We also have advanced, which we're going to use very soon, and then layout. We have section header, page break, and image. We can also add images here, which we'll also see. So for right now, we're going to just add another item here, and again, we're going to put question 3, help text, fill it out. We're going to use here this time a multiple choice. And in this thing, as you can see here, it says go to page based on answer. I can actually jump around the form if I wanted to. So for example, let's say someone filled out, let's say they liked fruit instead of candy. So I could actually have them jump to other questions based on fruit instead of questions based on candy and vice versa. So that's actually very useful. This only comes out multiple choice, unfortunately, because if I actually check this, it disappears. So multiple choice, we'll add this one here, we'll say option 1, and then option 2, we'll leave them like that. Make this a required question, done, and that looks like this. We're going to duplicate this one because the next one's going to be similar. Come over here, and we're going to put question 4, fill it out. This time we're going to choose checkboxes. This way I can have more than one. You can have as many options down here as you want. I've had up to almost 100 under each question, so that's not a problem. For example, when it's a list of students' names in a classroom, then usually you'll get about 30 or 50 here. So if, for example, the question is choose your name from the selection, and you can choose that and have many options here. So we have our another option here. We're going to press done there. We're going to go out now, just so you guys can see how this is turning out. We have our questions here being presented. We're going to add another one here. We're going to do a duplicate. We're going to put question 5, fill it out. This time we're going to use choose from a list. And we're going to leave these same options. Oh, this one also gives you the possibility of going to a page based on answer. This is actually new. You can actually choose that as well. That was not there before, so we also have this option of choosing from a list to going to another page. So here we're going to click done, and as you can see, it gives you this little element here that, okay, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to see that as soon as we look at the formal thing finished, but it will give you the possibility of a drop-down list here to choose. Let's make another duplicate. Go from here, and now things get interesting. We have a scale, grid, date, and time. So let's click on scale here, and I have the option of going to up to 10. So here we can say this is the worst, and we'll say that 10 is the best. And we're going to make that a required question. Done. And as you can see, it pops out a possibility for the person to choose one of these options here, as we will see in a minute. Let's make another one. This time we're going to do, this will be question 6. And this time we're going to use a grid. Here we have row 1, row 2, row 3. And we have column 1, column 2, column 3. Required question. And then we're going to press done. In this one as well, we have options of choosing where we want to select. So we can select one here, one here, and one here. And then we'll do that guy. Go in here. Okay. Actually, now we're going to delete this one because we already have one, so we're going to kill him. And then we're going to have this. We'll add an item. And this time it's going to be a date. So here I can say include year, include time. And I can make this a required question. This is good for birthdays or appointments or things like that that I want to use. I'll make this as question 7. Make that. And finally, one more, add item. And we'll select a time. And this way, we'll just put duration. We can put durations. We can put AM or PM. Let's get closer here to see this. Okay, we can make hour, minute, AM, PM, or hours, minutes, seconds. We'll just leave it like that. And we'll make this question 8. And put our question, and done. So now we have various things here that we can use. Now what we can do is we can actually go and add an item. And this time we can do, oh, we can't do it there, that's unfortunate. So what we have to do is actually go here to this arrow here, and we're going to click on that so we can add an image. So we're going to add an image here. Okay. And here we can almost add anything we want. We can upload one, we can take a snapshot, we can do it by URL. There's lots of options here. We can go to My Drive, choose an image there if we want, shared with me, or recent. We'll just choose this one for right now. And I'll select that guy. And that sometimes takes a little bit of time, don't worry about it. So when it starts adding the image in, so we'll just let him continue on. And we'll just say this is image 1. Okay, we can hover text, and when you go over the image, it should tell us something. Take a look. We'll just put here. Once we're done with that, we can put it as a center in the form. We can put it to the left. We'll just leave it as a center. We'll leave that as done. Okay. Now, these images are good, especially, for example, if you're doing math problems. And if you have a very long math equation that is as an image, you can upload it here and then ask the students right under the image, for example. We can add an item and, oh, I'm sorry. That's that. Oh, it goes and asks you for another image. That's really interesting. So we'll have to click on this guy and add a text here. And we could say, where is this from? And find it or something like this, and then they can give their answer, and we can press done. So this question would refer to the image put inside the form, which is also very nice. 2 more things that we have to see in regards to additions here. For example, I can click on this guy. No, I'm sorry, rather, I can actually go, and here we have insert. If we go up here, we're going to see that we have all the possibilities here in one list. It's the same thing that comes out. We're actually going to add what's called a section header. I'm going to click on him. We're going to come out. And this section header is, we can put, for example, part 1. And we can press done. And then we can go here, press insert, and we'll add a page break. And we'll put part 2. There we are. So as you can see, there's a difference. The only thing that the section header does is just put a title above the question. So if I wanted to divide these questions up into certain sections, I could just grab this, put it down here, put it in between, and all it does is just say that these questions above are slightly different than these questions below. But in this case, this one here is much stronger. This actually divides the form up into certain parts, and you actually see certain different parts when you use the form. So right now, we're going to test this out so you can see it. We're going to put this, and we're going to move it to here, so you can see what it looks like when we look at the final form. But these are all the elements that you can use in a form. You can use these for many, many different things. Finally, we go down here, and we have a couple options here that come up. We can say what they want to see at the end of the form when they finish. So we're going to say, thanks. And then here, they can submit another response. We can get rid of that. Publish and show a link to the results of this form, if it's, for example, an answer sheet. And then I'll allow responders to edit responses after submitting, which most of the time is not the viable option. Finally, after we're finished, we're going to select this send form that's right here. Now, before doing anything, we're going to see the options. We have here the main link, which is what we're going to open up right now. We can embed this in a website, for example, a blog or something similar. And then we can send via email this link to other people. And this will actually come up within the same email. They will not have to click on it, open up a new website. You can actually answer the form within the same email. And finally, we can actually invite others to edit this form. We can add collaborators. Something special about this form is that we don't have up here a share button. This share button and the other type of documents in Google Drive is being taken, it's been switched to send form. So when I click on this, it's actually come out there, and then here is where I'm going to add collaborators if I want other people to work on the same form. So right now, the only thing we want to do is just click this and then select it. We're going to Command-C to copy this. We're going to copy that. Put it done. Now, this part here is another part it's going to ask you because it wants to know where you want to put the answers that everyone is going to fill out. This is naturally going to be in a spreadsheet, so we can leave this as test 444 and responses. We can also have a new sheet in an existing spreadsheet, so we don't have to create one from zero. We can actually use many forms in one single spreadsheet, or we can actually just click on this and just say always create a new spreadsheet so they don't keep on asking me. In this case, we're just going to leave it new, and we're going to press create. Once we do that, as you can see up here, it's doing circles because it's saying it was setting up the spreadsheet. We're going to see this in 1 second after we fill out the form, but here we can actually go view live form. But the best thing to do right now is just to open up a new tab, and we're going to paste our link there, press enter, and see what happens. As you can see, we have this form here that came out. We have the possibility of putting things here. And then here we can choose, for example, option 1. Now, as we saw before, we saw the page break. Here it is in action. This is actually going to give us a continue button to go to the next part of the form. So we can click on that, and it will give me the second part here. As you can see, here it says required, meaning that when the star comes out, this must be filled out before you can submit the form. We're going to click on option 1 and option 2. Here, finally, we can see the drop-down list. Gives me as many options as I want. I can click option 3. And here I can click number 2. I thought this form was pretty bad, actually. We could make something much better, hopefully, in the future. Here we have fill it out. We can choose column 2, and then column 3, and then column 1 here, however I want. I have another one here. I can choose these here. Here I have a place of putting a date in here if I want to put a date. For example, well, it's not going to let me do this as easily as I thought it was going to do. So choose that, and then 198, okay. And then the time is going to be left here. We're going to click on this. Oh, I can actually move it. Okay, let's get closer here. With this button here, I can actually move the dates up and down. Okay, and with this arrow here, I can actually choose the date much more easily. Okay, and then this time frame here is going to be 10 a.m. Here in question 8, we're going to click on hours. We're going to say 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and 2 seconds. And then we're going to go down here. We have a wonderful image. I'm going to put I do not know. And finally, when we finish all our form, we go down to the very bottom and we're going to click on this button here which says submit. And now we've seen what everyone else is going to see when I fill out my form. So we're going to click on submit right there. And then finally, it gives me my message here which says thanks. And we can create our own form, which we just did. So these are the options with the form. Now the only thing we have to see is what happens after we fill out the form. If we go back to our drive here, we're going to see that 2 new documents were made. The form, which has this figure here, and the spreadsheet, which has this figure here. We've already seen this one, so we're going to go to here, open this guy up, and see what happened. As you can see, it made a spreadsheet. On the top, we have all of the questions, and the names of the questions, going all the way down here. To the extreme left, we have the timestamp. It means it tells me exactly when the person finished filling out this form. And then we have the answers here below, as you can see. Now, the very nice thing about this is now that we have all the answers in a spreadsheet, we can simply do the normal things that we normally do in a spreadsheet to filter the information, erase the information, add extra information. I can add a comment here if I want to this information. In that case, I can just hover over that. It's got that orange triangle there that allows me to see the comments. So that gives us a great possibility of doing anything I want. Obviously, from the spreadsheet, I can add would be conditional formatting, for example, if things are right or wrong, if it's too high, it's too low, all that type of stuff I can do from this form spreadsheet where the answers to the form were put. And this in a nutshell is everything about the basic uses of a Google form. In later videos, we're going to see how to apply Google Forms to other things like questionnaires and exams and things like that. So please stay tuned. Thanks.